There is a story in the Mail today, more revelations about Epstein taking a quote-unquote very cute young Romanian model to a private dinner at Buckingham Palace for Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor. This is bombshell emails disclosing how Andrew entertained Epstein and 4 women, including the model from Bucharest and another from Russia, at the palace while Queen Elizabeth was away at Balmoral. Described the Romanian woman who's in her 20s as very cute and told her she had been perfect. I mean, this just makes my skin crawl. He says Andrew thought she was beautiful, adding, "No man looks at your clothes." Well, I'm not going to read all that out. I mean, that is just absolutely horrendous. Unclear whether the young Romanian woman was one of Epstein's many sex abuse victims, but the latest revelation fueling calls for the Metropolitan Police to launch a criminal investigation into Andrew. Caroline Aston is a royal commentator who's with me now. Caroline, your thoughts on this?
Well, this great sleazy snowball of scandal continues to roll, doesn't it? Gaining more allegations of fumblings and fornication by the day, with a dose of afternoon tea at the palace apparently dropped into it. Where's it going to end? And this has been a dramatic week, hasn't it? With the deposed ex-prince spirited away under cover of darkness to his interim new home at Wood Farm at Sandringham. And the reason for that, basically, is the terrible optics of the Andrew situation. There you are, riding around as though he hasn't got a care in the world on a horse at Windsor. And quite frankly, I think the King and the Prince of Wales had had just about enough of these very public displays, which are classic of this narcissistic, arrogant man who really doesn't get it, continues to vehemently deny any wrongdoing, and can't get his head around what's happened to him. And you know, at the root of all of this is the fact that he is what I call a member of an old style of being royal. Someone who thinks the accident of birth, who made him what he was, is enough. Look no further. Respect me because of who my mother was, rather than what I do with my life. Plus which, of course, Peter, not enough money to have the lifestyle that he thought he should have as a prince of the blood royal, which led him into some, shall we say, dark corners.
What should he do? Speaking of those dark corners, what should he do now? We've seen actually the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton, have done a U-turn. They say they're going to give evidence to the congressional hearings on Jeffrey Epstein. We know that Prince Andrew says, he keeps saying, "I'm available, I'll talk to whoever wants to talk to me," but it never quite seems to happen. Prince Andrew's been stripped of his titles, his home has been taken away, all the rest of it. I have absolutely no sympathy for him in any of that. But what should he do now? What more can he do to give clarity about his role, what he knew when? Peter Mandelson will have to do that. Andrew should too.
Well, I think Prince Edward, who spoke recently while in Dubai, had it in one. It's a matter of personal choice and conscience. Well, the personal choice of Andrew at the moment appears to be not to say anything at all. Conscience? Well, it's debatable. How much of that vital quality does the man actually have? Pricking him, pushing him on to do something. I think he's determined to brazen this out for the time being, to watch what goes on. But if I was him, I'd keep my head well below the public parapet, shut up, put up, wait to see what happens, and then, if you can dig deep into the darker corners of your own soul, perhaps realise that it's about time you did do something like this, put an end to some of the press coverage, and perhaps, just perhaps, expressed sympathy for the victims, the survivors of the Epstein years.
Which is exactly what I should have done in answer to the very first question that Emily Maitlis asked him in that 2019 interview. The first thing he should have said was, "Emily, we've got an hour. I'm going to answer all your questions as honestly as I can. But before I do that, what I want to do is say I made a catastrophic error of judgment in ever trusting Jeffrey Epstein and continuing to associate with him, and my heart goes out to those victims, to their families, and I will do absolutely anything I can to help them get justice." That is exactly what he should have said. He said none of that, not a thing. Let's talk about other royals, because Princess Anne was cheered at the rugby yesterday. We know as well that King Charles has been heckled because of Andrew. This is the second time I think I remember it happening anyway in the last few months. What does he do now, do you think?
I think he's done all he himself can do for the moment. He very quickly stepped in and sent his brother, as I say, off to the frozen wastes of Sandringham. Incidentally, it's only a 20-minute drive from there to the nearest Pizza Express for Andrew, so that could be really quite
I love how
interesting.
you know that, Caroline. That's the value added Caroline Aston commentary that you get on this station.
So absolutely wonderful. And so, yes, talking about Emily Maitlis, of course. I mean, what a saga that juggernaut of a crash of an interview was, wasn't it? With all the protestations, the saga of pizza and perspiration that was basically at the root of that. I think the thing here is the king needs to watch how this goes on a day-to-day basis. But at the end of the day, he can't force his brother to testify. He can't. He's done all he can to cancel him, to nullify him, to neutralize him. And you know, the rotten apple has been removed as far as possible from the royal barrel. And the problem is, all the good stuff that the royals do or supposed to do, that's part of their remit, that's going on.
Yeah.
But no one's noticing that, are they? Because it's all obscured by the ongoing, unfolding, not very uplifting Andrew saga. That's the problem for the king, to
Yes.
carry the institution forward, to let the world see that they're still out there functioning. And I will just say this, thank God the late Queen Elizabeth II isn't alive to see this
Yeah,
after those years.
well, exactly. Caroline,
Yeah.
listen, thank you for that analysis. Caroline Aston, Royal Commentator